I mean, it's like, wow, I was away for like 2 weeks moving and loading things in U-Hauls, and I wasn't writing or producing anything and hosting these live streams or anything like that. And in the 2 weeks that I've been away, it's like 900 new people joined this channel and subscribed. And I'm just like, that's really cool. Who are you people? What are you working on? Like it is awesome to be able to meet you. So I thought, let's take a moment and share with you what Legend Fiction is about, and then you go ahead and let me know in the comments what you're about and then what you're doing. So I started Legend Fiction because I have been writing ever since I was a kid, rewriting stories. I wrote several different novels. I lost one because a virus hit a computer. I wrote two kind of side novels, not side novels. I wrote two novels when I was about 13, then when I was 16. And as I got older, I began to wonder, where are all the other writers at? Like it's so fun that sunlight is so bright. It is so cool to be able to write with other people. And when I got married like 10 years ago, moving to find jobs and stuff, I haven't written in like almost 10 years. And one day I decided, you know what? I want to start a writing community just because I want to write with people. Now, I've been a part of a bunch of different writing communities, and there are a whole bunch of really cool ones online. I remember the first writing community I ever joined was called Nice Stories, and I think it's still out there. I discovered Mythic Scribes more recently, which is an amazing forum, and I think you should check it out because it's really incredible. It's bustling and stuff. But I thought I really want to start my own. I want to start my own community because I am Catholic, and I want to start a community for Catholic and Orthodox fantasy and sci-fi fiction writers. But here's the thing, I want to do it differently. And you may not be Catholic or Orthodox, and of course that's fine. I want to do it differently, and I wanted to go the route of this needs to be a faith-inspired fiction approach, because way too many people, when you love your faith and you love your fiction, try to shoehorn it in, together, and you might stop having fun, and your readers kind of stop having fun because you're like beating them over the head with evangelistic literature. And that's not the point of fiction. That's not the point of writing something that is fun. The point of fiction is to create an experience for somebody that they're just going to absolutely love, and they can't stop reading. They get all the way to the end. Maybe it has answers. Half the time fiction doesn't have answers. It has an experience. It has an experience of the question, and it's walking somebody through, helping somebody live through all of the objections and all of the thoughts and so on. Now, even saying that kind of makes it sound too like you're making too much of an effort. Honestly, good fiction is just going to come out of what you love and who you are. And so I wanted to create a community that where we're kind of all on the same page, where we all look at the world the same way, but we want to discover what it is our fiction has to communicate and has to share with the world, because we love what we believe. And if you're someone, for example, you're a Buddhist or you're Shinto or Hindu or whatever, your faith is something that animates you and you love it and you want to communicate it. And so you're using fiction to walk around that and to explore that and take it seriously through the life and the adventuring or something of an actual person. So that's why I'm calling it faith-inspired fiction. It comes out of how you see the world. You're not trying to shoehorn stuff in. You want to have fun with it. And therefore, it's got to be fun enough that anybody is going to enjoy it. Now, the other thing that comes with that is, I don't know, I'm thinking I'm going to call them pearl clutchers for now. There are a lot of people out there who do not like the idea of any sort of fiction at all, or they're afraid of certain things happening in fiction, and I'm going to call them pearl clutchers. Like, they see, oh my goodness, you're writing about Jedi, and you're writing about wizards and magic and stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't appropriate for my community or whatever. And I decided a long time ago, okay, I want to write about this stuff. I love these kinds of movies. How does this work? Does this work with my faith at all? And what I've begun to realize is, first of all, it absolutely does. And there are a lot of people who haven't read enough, and they haven't watched enough. And so when something becomes really popular, they don't quite know what to do with it because they don't have enough mental furniture in their minds to kind of understand what is being communicated, because all of these stories are dealing in a ton of mythology, half the time a ton of mysticism too. And if you're not filled up with enough stories, you're not exactly going to understand what is happening and why something is so meaningful and why it matters to a lot of people. So that's what stories do. Stories are how our soul communicates. I read a book just the last couple of weeks called Courting the Wild Twin by Martin Shaw. My goodness, is it an amazing book. One of the points that he makes in it is this, that facts and ideas are for your mind, but stories are for your soul. Stories are how the soul communicates. The soul doesn't communicate in, here's an idea, here's a word. A soul doesn't communicate in a thesaurus. Right? Thesauruses are great. From the soul's point of view, a thesaurus is a dead collection of words that don't mean anything. But a book of mythology is like a dictionary for the soul, because it's made up of these lived moments of people talking and communicating and feeling through things and going through things and moments of transition and transformation. That is how the soul communicates. That's why if you're like in a story binge and you're like needing to fill yourself up with so much reading and so much story, and there, for a lot of us, we're in a kind of a drought as far as our soul goes. And so we need a lot of stories to fill us up, because stories are like words. And the more, and this is especially if you're an author, the more you fill yourself up with stories, mythology, stories of other people's lives, the more you're able to understand what's going on in the world, what's happening around you, why you are attracted to things, why other people are the way they are, where they are in their life journey, what you need or want to include in your own story, because your story is something that you love, something your soul is chewing through, trying to work on. And maybe you need to be really gentle with that for a while. Maybe you just need to sit with it and not, maybe you don't need to share it with anybody. And maybe it doesn't need to be published. Maybe it just needs to be for you and you just need to write it. All right. That's that faith-inspired fiction place that our community, Legend Fiction, is about. Now, as you can imagine, we're also extremely dramatic because we love, well, you're a legend if you're writing things, and that's kind of what our community, the vibe that our community has. Because I looked around at all the other writing communities, especially in the Catholic Orthodox space. That's who we're working with. Got to start somewhere. And everybody, usually when you're starting a writing community, people are always going with like quills, and they're going with ink wells, and they're trying to be very classical and trying to come across as like erudite and beautiful and stuff. And I thought, I don't want to be the Bodleian Library in Britain, as cool as that is, and I would love to go there one day. I don't want to be the Bodleian Library. I want to be like Blizzard Entertainment, and that's why you'll see with a lot of stuff that Legend Fiction gets up to when you visit the website. There's dragons everywhere, really cool concept art. We're called Legend Fiction because whoever, when you write with us, you are a legend. And we just focus on having ludicrous, dramatic fun. So, we offer a free plan. You can come check us out, but that's not really the point. The point is to help us inspire and encourage each other. And that's why what I'm doing here is I've got these live writing sessions. So, in starting this community, like I said, I haven't really written for like 10 years. Maybe I wrote 2 or 3 stories during that time. And I remember there was this one like 4 or 5 month period, 4 or 5 week period where I wrote a story every single week. And it was amazing. But what I found is just being around other people who are writing, even though I wasn't writing, just being around them, all of a sudden it was like, it just became so easy to want to write. And I wasn't even like really having to force myself or try, just watching them write. And I was hosting contests with Legend Fiction, and people were writing and sending in stories, and I'm reading their stories. And it's like something is waking up inside, just being around the energy of all these other people writing. And then all of a sudden, without even trying, I started writing a novel like 6 months ago. And it just felt wonderful, and it felt amazing. And then I got a job change and then didn't write for like 6 months. And so with these live streams, I'm now back and I'm trying to write again. And I'm hoping that what I got from showing up and helping other people, what it gave to me was the excitement to start writing again. I'm hoping can happen here is that me showing up and sharing my writing journey, I can help inspire you, and maybe you can keep writing too. And if you are, this is what this is all about. These chill writing sessions, maybe as dawn comes up. If you're making progress, I'd love to know what it is. Go ahead and say hi in the comments. Drop a little update with how you're doing and what you're writing on. And then in the same way that maybe you're inspired, you're going to see other people who are out there who are also inspired. And you'll kind of wonder, where have all these other writers been? I didn't know they were out there. And they are. And they're, some of us are showing up, joining these live writing sessions. There are others that happen on YouTube. I think that what's just been cool is the one video that I put out on how I use Obsidian as a writing tool. I recorded that just for 3 other people, and 30,000 other views later, it's like there's a lot of people who at least are interested in this kind of tool and are hopefully finding it helpful. So I write in it. Now that is my tool for brainstorming and writing. And maybe at some point, maybe when I get finished with this book, I don't know, I might screen share and go through the process live of outlining or brainstorming a new novel, and maybe start writing that live. If that would be interesting or helpful to you, go ahead and let me know, and I'll actively consider that, because I've seen some other authors who do that, and it's kind of fun to see that process. But it's been cool to meet a ton of new people who love writing, partly through the Obsidian process, and then they come with their own questions about how to do this and that, and I'd love to be able to share with you how I'm going about this stuff. And I'd love to know how you're making it work, and together we can inspire each other. So for all of those who are new to this channel, the sort of 900 people who kind of all subscribed in the 2 weeks that I was away not doing anything, hello and welcome. It is amazing to meet you, amazing to see you. A little bit about my background. I was born in New Zealand. I was raised in Australia. I went to school in Fiji and in France, and I now live in the United States, and I'm currently in the sort of Virginia area on the eastern seaboard. And I have loved writing ever since I was a kid. I work as a full-time marketer, and like 10 years ago, I kind of took a detour because I wanted to write and publish my own novels and realized I don't even know how to market or how to do that stuff. And so I kind of took a 10-year detour to figure out marketing. And then I came back and I started LegendFiction to start applying everything that I've learned, partly to help me market my novels when I get them written, but to also help promote and market other people who are in the community. And when we work together, we can do a lot more. And also we can have a lot more fun because it's so much more fun together. So that's a little bit about me. The novel that I'm writing, as of these writing sessions, it is a young adult novel. It's kind of my gritty YA take on a Neverland sort of Peter Pan reimagining, but Peter Pan's disappeared and everything is breaking down, and nobody knows why teens are being sucked into this very dangerous Neverland. So it's like a retelling that's kind of like Maze Runner mixed with maybe some Hunger Games and Neverland. And that came to me like a year ago. I thought this would be crazy cool to write because it's not out there. And I've watched every single Peter Pan version that's out there. I grew up loving Peter Pan. So we'll see where it goes. It might just be a fun thing that I write and a few people enjoy. Doesn't matter. It's mostly these writing sessions, and writing is about teaching me the discipline of writing. I want to learn the comfort and skill and ease of the craft of writing, which is probably why you're here too, and maybe why you've subbed to this channel. This is one reason why I'm not concerned about all of the AI tools that are out there that can help you to write, because the point is for you and me to teach ourselves how to be a writer. Nothing can do that for us. We have to show up and do it. That's why I love the metaphor that this chair right here that I'm sitting in, this is a dragon saddle. And I almost didn't want to show up to do this writing session today because I was just feeling really tired, didn't have a great night. But I need to learn to ride this dragon every single day. I have to get in the saddle and I have to take up the reins, keyboard, and I got to learn to keep flying. Every single day, I have to show up and learn to fly. And then here's the cool thing that happens. It's kind of like if you've seen Avatar, the James Cameron one, where he gets on the back of that dragon-like beast thing. I forget what it's called. If you know what it's called, drop a comment. Once he makes a connection with it and they fuse their the hair, the connection points, once they make that connection, it's kind of like with Aragorn connecting with Saphira. After a point, it comes easy because you've put in the 100 hours, you've put in the 1,000 hours to teach yourself. When inspiration strikes, I'm here, I'm ready, and I've showed up, and I've trained myself to be able to write so that when I do get this really cool idea and everything is ready, it can flow because I put in the time. And I put in the time because this is something that I love. This is a process. This is a skill that I want to teach myself. So that's why we're here. If you do it and you show up long enough, the moment the dragon decides, now is the day we're going to fly, you're ready because you showed up and you got into that saddle, and you took up those reins and you practiced the process of like flying every day. Same thing with writing. So that's what we're doing. So it's been awesome. This is if you're catching this as a clip, this is a clip from the morning live stream writing session. It was great to be able to spend some time writing, and every day that I can, I'm going to continue coming back for these chill morning writing sessions, and we can keep writing together. So it's been amazing so far, and it is incredibly cool to meet all of the new people who have joined. I would love to know who you are, what you're about, and I would love to know if there's any way that I can be helpful to you. I'm happy to share anything, any of the process that I'm working on, any suggestions or ideas, any way that I may not have answers for you, but I can have responses and I can share what I'm doing that's working, things like tools, experiences, or whatever. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to know how you're solving it, and together, I think we can make this a pretty epic chill writing community channel. And of course, if you want, you don't have to. You can come check us out at LegendFiction. We have a free writing community. Folk are welcome. Anybody can come and join us. Of course, it is for our specific faith community because that's our niche in this writing space. And if you are Catholic or Orthodox, you're absolutely welcome. Come and join us. I think that you will love your time because I love my time in being in the community, and I'm in there at least once a day, every single day. We've got about 300 members or so, and there's 50 of them who are actually in there doing it more seriously and writing and so on. All right, time to wrap it up. It's been really good to meet you. I hope that you can drop a comment if this was helpful, and I'd love to hear more about what you're about. Hit like if this was also a good writing session. You can hit you can watch the replay and go through it at any point. And if you got any ideas for how I could make this better, I would love to know what those are. So thanks again. Till next time, keep writing. Have an amazing rest of your day.